start with the chapter Dual Nature of Matter and Radiation. So here you can see that we are talking about both matter as well as radiation. Radiation means the wave, especially electromagnetic wave. So before going to the detail of dual nature of matter and radiation, let's first look how this whole thing came about. So actually, as we know that gas or air, they are not conductor of electricity, right? So we know rather that air is the insulator of electricity. They do not conduct electricity. But it was found that if you really put very low pressure, in normal temperature and pressure, gas will never conduct electricity. But if you change its pressure and if you really put the pressure very low on the gas, then it starts to conduct electricity. And not only that, there are many other ways to make the gas as a conductor of electricity, and therefore the electricity can pass through gas. This whole process is called ionization of gas. So what happens is gas or air, various particles or various atoms and various particles are there, and they become charged. How they become charged? Either by collision with something else, or there are various processes by which you can separate the charged particle from this air particles or gas particles, and therefore they can break themselves into various ions, right? And this process is called ionization of gas or ionization of the air. And these ions that are present in the gas or in the air, once they are ionized, these ions can carry the charges through this gas or through this air. And what are the process by which you can ionize a gas, or what are the process by which you can ionize a air? Either you can send, either you can put pressure very low. You can put it in very low pressure. Then gas starts to ionize, and ionization process takes place, and therefore it starts to conduct electricity. Not only that, you can send UV rays very high. We have learned in electromagnetic spectrum that UV rays are very small wavelength than our visible light. So you can send UV rays, passing UV rays through the gas. Or there are alpha beta particles. They are the particles that comes out from the nuclear nuclear reactions or nuclear work called radioactivity. So from radioactive elements, this kind of particles comes out. If you bombard the gas with this kind of particles, then also gas becomes ionized. You can also send the charged particles in the gas, and by all this means you can make the air as a conductor of electricity, which is now in normal temperature and pressure they are the insulator. But why we are talking this ionization process in this chapter? Because the whole of this concept came into place by certain experiment which was done when the study of this ionization process of gas inside a particular tube was going on. So what was happening? Around 1900, last end of 1800, so around 1900, there are many scientists like Crookes, J.J. Thomson. There are certain scientists, they were working on this discharge process or of the gas. What is discharge process? Like when the gas is ionized, there are certain things that were seen to happen, and those are very miraculous and very exciting things. So suppose you have a tube. Generally this is called a discharge tube, or in this discharge tube you have two plates. One is cathode and one is anode. Suppose in this discharge tube you have two plates, and there are way to pump in the gases or pump out the gases. And suppose you fill this tube and then you start to pass the high voltage through it. Then what happens is there are phenomenal things started happening. Suppose this is filled with gas or air or any kind of thing, and then around 1900 the studies were going on this, and when this kind of things were going on, there were phenomenal things started happening, and various lights were shown up, various radiations and glows were seen inside the tube. And that is the point when this has become very interesting part to study. And from there, this is the starting, or this is the reason, or this is the phenomena or the experiments which we now call is the phenomena of discharge tube. And we saw many things discovered, many modern discoveries have come from this studies. So we will first study few phenomena in discharge tube, and therefore once you know what is happening inside the discharge tube, because they are very interesting, and once you know those phenomena of discharge tube, then we can come to the conclusion as to why we are starting this chapter called dual nature of matter as well as radiation. So next we are going to study various phenomena of the discharge tube.
If you like the video, then press the like button, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon.